Today we are bringing on a guest expert, Debbie, and she runs a business. I actually tagged it before called Meditation with Debbie. So we're going to talk today about meditation, how important it is as being part of your plan. But first, we wanted to kind of reintroduce ourselves because we're bringing on a guest expert, and also because our audience has grown so much. So, without further ado, I guess I'll go first
Yeah.
here while we make sure that you guys are sharing. But my name is Nora. I'm a coach in New York, based in the USA, and you'll see that Holly's from the Jersey Islands, UK. Jenny is from Canada. Debbie's coming on from the UK. So our dream when we first united and we all have the same business coach, that's how we met, was really to come on here and offer people different perspectives on training. We share a lot of the same philosophies, but we also are kind of a little bit different. Over the course of building our businesses, we're kind of branching out, so that's really exciting. But the main thing is the same, that we hope that we will have an impact on your health and wellness journey and really guide you into all things that are necessary, right? Because there's so many different things that are necessary as we continue on this journey. So, Holly, why don't you?
Yes. Thank you so much, Nora. Well, yeah, we're back and it's nice to be back. Feels like a fresh new year, and it also feels like spring is in the air, which is really, really cool. Three chicks for spring. Well, yeah, if you don't know who I am CEO of Joy Training, online fitness business, and it's a global business, which is how I met these guys. And yeah, I'm in Jersey Channel Islands, which is a really small island in between UK and France. One thing that we've all got in common is our love of weight training. All of us three coaches here all started with the weights, and we all still use them to different degrees. We all personal train and coach. We all believe in mindset, and we all believe that fitness and lifestyle and health, mental, spiritual, emotional, physical, it's all comes together. It needs to be integrated into your life in all, and it trickles into all areas of your life. So that's my piece. Go on, Jen.
Thank you. And it's so good to be back. We do these calls about once a month, but depending on the week that we do it, this last one seemed to be a little bit longer, closer to 5 or 6 weeks. So I'm glad to be with all of you today. If you don't know who I am, I have a coaching program, the same as Holly and Nora. Mine is definitely in the middle of a transition right now, which has been really exciting for me. I've been coaching for close to 8 years, and for the first 5+, I focused solely on the body, repairing your relationship with food by learning what makes up the food that you eat and making sure that there's no foods off limits, because that's something that so many of us struggle with, eating more emotionally and stress induced rather than eating to fuel our bodies. So that's where my passion first started. And as I was going on my own personal journey, about 2 years ago, I started incorporating a lot of mindset with my clients, helping them overcome limiting beliefs and negative self-talk, because that is so huge in this journey. And more recently, introducing quite a bit of spiritualism. So I'm really excited that Debbie's here with us today, because I truly believe that no diet or workout program will ever work long term if we are not addressing our mindset and aligning with our soul. And I have found in my personal journey that meditation has been key with aligning with my higher self. And I'm going to use that word interchangeable, you guys: soul, spirit, higher self, universe, God, whatever you want to call it. And I'm sure that these ladies probably agree as well, but I'm going to echo what Holly and Nora both said. We are all here to make an impact. Us coming together collectively, I know, is going to help every single one of you who are watching. So as you're watching, if you've got questions for us, I've got the video open up here on my phone. I believe Holly and Nora do as well. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the chat. If you're watching live, I'd love to see you hashtag live. And if you're watching the replay later, hashtag replay as well, so we can circle back and say hi and answer any questions that you might have.
And
Um,
don't forget to share our video as well. If
yeah,
you
it's
know
public.
people who
You
can
share.
benefit from the meditation, we'll be going in. Debbie's going to lead us through a really short meditation here, maybe a little bit longer one. So if you guys are into that, let us know. And also share this video with your friends so we can really reach a ton of people.
Okay, so I'm going to introduce, poor Deb's been sitting down here waiting her turn to speak. So I'm very excited I really we agreed that we would all be bringing on some guest speakers at some point during this year, because we have a new format for Three Chicks Walk Into a Bar. And I knew straight away that I wanted Debbie to come on, and she agreed, which is very brave, because, you know, it's not easy. Us three ladies have been doing this kind of talking for quite some time now, and it's not always easy, but Debbie is actually one of my guest experts, locked in on a monthly basis for my clients in Joy Training, and we all benefit. She's been with me, gosh, it must be over a year now, I think, Debs, with my clients, coming on once a month, and I see the benefit for my clients and how it actually ultimately ends up with them losing body fat, because this is part of that. And so I see what Debbie's work with us is a key element in body transformation. So without further ado, Debs, I would love to introduce you, let you introduce yourself, in fact, and just explain, like, why meditation?
Okay. Hi, everybody. Yes, I am. My name's Debbie, and I'm a meditation guide. And I've come here today just to kind of explain to everybody that meditation is for everybody, and it is becoming more and more mainstream. And if you've ever thought you can't meditate because your mind's too busy, I'm here to tell you that you most definitely can meditate. Everybody can. The reason I got into meditation was probably, over 20 years ago now. I had a really severe case of bright red skin welts all over my body. I couldn't find a doctor to tell me what I had. They told me I had a fungal infection, I had dermatitis, all these different things. Nothing worked. And then I was eventually diagnosed with psoriasis, which is a little bit more well known now, but then it kind of wasn't. And from researching it, it is an autoimmune disease, and really basically brought on by stress. So that kind of started my path of finding out more about how you can help stress without going down the route of medication and, you know, all the things that are kind of we're told to do. So I just, by chance, which is what often happens with a lot of these things, because there wasn't the internet and everything then, you couldn't sort of Google everything. I did by chance read in a magazine that meditation helped with the symptoms of psoriasis. And it's not that big a deal, psoriasis, to me now, but then it really upset me and stressed me out more because it's very ugly. You've got red marks all over your body, you know, it's just, and as a woman or for anybody, it was very stressful. You felt subconscious. So you kind of exacerbated your stress, basically. So I started to meditate. I had to go and, you know, you couldn't go on Amazon and just buy CDs. You couldn't get an app. There was nothing then. So, and I couldn't find a teacher in Jersey because I'm from Jersey, like Holly. We're just a small island and we don't have the resources and the same things that you know, if you were in the UK or in America, Canada, everything's everywhere. So you couldn't get hold of anything, and I couldn't find a teacher either. So I basically taught myself with these little CDs. And it did help with my psoriasis. It kind of took the redness down. But what was amazing to me was all these things that started happening. And I didn't really understand. Initially, what I really noticed was that I was sleeping really well. But then I started to really notice my behavior. And so the more I looked into meditation, the more I saw that it isn't just for physical benefits. It helps you psychologically, it helps you emotionally, and it does help you spiritually if you're interested in that side of it. You don't have to be. So that was kind of my journey into meditation, and I have had a very stop-start affair with it because, like anything that we commit to, it's just hard to keep going. So I'd do it for a few months, then I wouldn't, and then I'd notice all the things that I didn't like would all come back. So then I start meditating again. And now I really don't go a day without meditating, but not because it's a chore or it's on my to-do list. It's just part of my life now. It's really not a big deal. So that's, you know, how I meditate. But it definitely is for everybody. And I think most people that get into meditation or have an interest in it, it is for the physical benefits. It does reduce stress just from the fact that you're sitting calmly. It reduces muscle tension. It does help you sleep better. Your breathing rate improves. Your blood pressure goes down. It does strengthen your immune system. All these things can be measured by science, and they are now. It's very scientifically supported. Psychologically, it improves your memory, your concentration, your ability to make decisions. And if you regularly meditate, you really start to notice that about yourself, because you think, oh, I wouldn't have reacted like that before. And then you just have a much better command of your mind. It helps you emotionally because it helps you with your whole range of emotions. So, you know, it can help with anger, with irritation, with impatience, with intolerance, with judgment, with self-criticism, all those things, again, because you start to notice how you are. And I'm very interested in the spiritual aspect of it. But like I said before, it doesn't have, that's not for everybody. And that's, it really does just open up other realms of possibility. You know, I love that side. It's really exciting. What I wanted to do is just show you a meditation. Just do a meditation and just show you that you can all meditate. And then we'll just talk a little bit more afterwards.
That sounds perfect. So should we mute ourselves and we'll let you take us through it?
I don't think you need to mute. It's really short, it's really simple, and it's just to show people that if you've got 3 minutes, you can do this yourself. It's really easy.
Cool.
So that's what we'll do. So wherever you just are finding yourself right now, just get comfortable. You don't have to be in a special place, in a special position. Just get comfortable. Try and have your spine long, but not rigid, just relaxed. And if you're happy to, close your eyes. But if you don't want to close your eyes, you can just fix your gaze somewhere in front of yourself. And before we jump into the meditation, just take a moment now to check in with yourself. Just take a moment and just see how you're really feeling. You know, where are you tonight? Or not, for all of you, it's not tonight, but just where are you? How are you feeling? And for me, as I sit here thinking that, I know I'm quite nervous. I can feel the tension in my tummy. I can feel my breathing beginning to calm down. So just notice how you're feeling. And maybe notice any sensations that are in your body. Maybe your breath at your nostrils, or the way your chest rises and falls with your breath, or even the way that your tummy expands and contracts as you breathe. Or maybe you're more aware of a particular mood, that's the state of your mind. You know, are you feeling a little bit agitated, excited, impatient? Just notice. Are you finding it quite easy to concentrate? Is your concentration fleeting? So just simply want you to acknowledge what you're feeling in this moment and not label it. There's no right or wrong. Just be okay with how you are right now. And then now I just want you to take your right hand and place it on your heart. And then cover your left hand over your right hand. And when we really tune in to our heart like this, it releases all our feel-good hormones. oxytocin, serotonin, just as we really tune into ourselves. And then maybe raise your collarbone a little. And then just soften your neck and soften your jaw. And then just feel your forehead smooth. Through the day, all our thinking, our straining, our planning, our decision making, it tenses all the micro muscles in your face. So just release them a little. And now I just want you to notice your breathing. And just notice the fact that you're breathing in and you're breathing out. And there's no rush here, just watch your breathing. No need to struggle. You're just calmly breathing in and out. And in a moment, I'm going to count you in with your breath. And I'm going to count to 4 on your in breath. I'm going to pause. And then I'm going to count to 4 on your out breath. So just follow gently as best you can. There's no right or wrong. Just try and listen to my count. So on the next inhale, inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Take a pause and exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take a pause. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take a pause. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. In. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you just quietly count to yourself in your mind as you take a few more mindful breaths. And if you find the flow a little tricky or uncomfortable, just count to 3 or count to 2, whatever feels right for you. Or even take a little recovery breath and then get back into a rhythm. And then just take your time, and at the end of your next exhale, just really gently drop your hands down to just rest lightly in your lap. And just take a few moments to feel again what there is to feel. Just feel the sensations in your body have changed as they calmed. And just notice the quality of your breath as it becomes really quiet and calm. And just notice the state of your mind or your emotions. And maybe everything's just leveled out a little. And then also become aware of the part of you, the observer, that's been watching all of this. Everything that's been happening, the whole thing. this part of you that's remained distinct and undisturbed, just curious and watchful. This part of you that's called your witness. And the witness is said to reside in your heart. And the witness is who you are, not your thoughts. You're the witness of your thoughts. And slowly now, just bow your head down to your heart and gently just flutter your eyes open. And just reconnect to yourself here now in this moment. And then gently, I just welcome you back.
Debbie, my goodness, that was absolutely insanely good. What do you guys think? Are you zen?
Amazing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just connecting with ourselves and taking a moment for ourselves is so powerful.
Really hard to relax your face muscles if you're not used to it, by the way. I was like, smooth my forehead, and I kept on going back to that, smooth your forehead.
You know, I wanted to say that the power of the breath, because you've made I can tangibly feel, even on Zoom, the energy has dropped. And I just wanted to say, like, there are people that can ride horses without saddles and bridles, controlling through their breath. This is something that I really wanted to learn about, because I've worked with horses since I was 5. And I know that, you know, our hearts can connect with animals, and horses happen to have a huge heart. And we're taught when we work with horses, and maybe it's the same with other animals, if you can just control your breathing, even the hottest horses, and I used to ride race horses, will come down. And that's really powerful, because there's been times when I've almost gone on stage for bodybuilding competitions. In my second show, when I came off, you have to come off and go back on for something else, I was hyperventilating, but I've never had that before, so I didn't know that's what it was. And I was thinking, God, I'm breathing heavy. That wasn't very hard. I had to lean over the fan to catch my breath. And so our thoughts are incredibly powerful. Sometimes we don't even know we're so nervous. But what you just taught, Debs, is like, you can physically take back some control, right? Is that right?
Yeah. And I mean, in meditation, this is kind of what I wanted to talk about meditation, is that I think that you can see everybody can meditate. That wasn't hard. I think everybody can kind of have, you know, maybe not for so long, maybe the heart bit, but just noticing your breathing. Anybody can do that. And breath meditation is kind of all in a league of its own. You could just do that. But if that's not for you, there's so many other styles of meditating. So you can zone into your body. You can go through your body. You can consciously let go of thoughts. You can pick a mantra, which is just a word, and repeat that in your head. You can go on an imaginary journey in your imagination. There's so many styles of meditation. So, you know, I'm really keen for people not to be put off because they don't like breath work, because breath work can get quite boring. You know, that there's all these different styles. But if you could just start your day with a little bit of mindfulness, where you just see, how do you feel when you wake up? Just acknowledge it, and just just a few minutes would do it. It would just change the course of your day. And it's so simple. You know, you don't have to go and sit for an hour in a dark room with your legs crossed with a fancy hand position. That's amazing, and that would really deepen your practice, but you don't need that. And meditation is becoming very, very mainstream now. Everybody's heard of it. Everybody's kind of got a little bit of a curiosity about it. So, and the reason that the breath really helps so quickly, and you don't need to sit for 20 minutes, is because deepening your breathing changes your nervous system within about 3 breaths. So you come out of your sympathetic nervous system, which is your stress response, your fight or flight, and you go into your parasympathetic nervous system, which is more your relaxation response. And I kind of like to think of it, it's kind of like your brain when you go into meditation is, it knows that you're meditating. So it goes into this relaxation response because it knows everything's okay. Right now, everything's okay. She's just going to sit here and meditate. And so it's not in this state of being really revved up. So it starts doing all its healing. The brain sending messages to the immune system, to these little niggles and things. And that's when all the magic happens, because you're just being quiet and you're being still. And I think that the hardest thing for people isn't meditating. Everybody can meditate. What people find really hard is finding the time. And also, modern living, everybody wears being super busy as a badge of achievement. Oh yeah, I'm really busy. Like, that's great.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
why? Why is being busy great? You know, but it's like, well, I wouldn't dare say to somebody, yeah, I meditated for an hour, I wrote in my journal, I went for a walk. You kind of feel really guilty, like, well,
That's so
you know,
true.
why? Why are we guilty?
Self-care
Because
isn't
we're all busy
selfish.
women. We're all busy women. We get everything done we need to get done. So, you know, and it's that. And I think that's the really big thing with people being averse to meditating, is because they feel maybe guilty because they're not doing something productive. And I used to think that when I first was meditating, I was thinking, God, I could be doing something much more useful than sitting here. So yeah, that's it really. Meditation is really simple. The difficult part is finding the time, and maybe finding the style that's for you, because
I think it's really important here to talk about. I want you to kind of expand on that busy mind thing, because I know for me, introducing meditation, like, I'm a lifter, I'm a mom of 6, I run even though my coaches tell me not to. I love to be active all the time. What that did to me about 5 or 6 years ago is I had psoriasis as well. I became a binge eater because I was constantly in my sympathetic nervous system. So, can you talk about that a little bit? I think that's really important for women to understand, like the binge eating and all of these emotional eating, these things that we deal with as coaches so much is really can really be handled or at least dealt with by introducing meditation.
yeah, oh yeah, that's a lovely question, because I think that people don't understand that meditation will help them emotionally. I think that the thing with meditation is, if you kind of think what the definition of meditation is, it is not ever about emptying your mind of all its thoughts, because that's impossible. We can't even do that. Our brains are designed to think, like our hearts are designed to beat. You can't ask your heart, can you not beat for 10 minutes? You can't ask your brain to stop creating thoughts. So that's kind of, for busy people, that's a real light bulb moment. I don't have to empty my mind of thoughts. No, you don't. You can have as many thoughts as you want going on in your head. You're not going to have a blank mind. With practice, they quieten down, but that's not the point of the meditation. The point of the meditation is noticing what thoughts you're having. And statistically, 80% of the thoughts that you had today, you had them yesterday. Yeah. And you've got there, and then kind of the percentage goes down in that you're having thoughts that you were thinking last year, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, even back when you were a kid. And all that's so linked to our emotions. It's all linked to our emotions, because we're having these thoughts, so they bring up these emotions again. But really what meditation does is it makes you realize that you're thinking. So generally we're either ruminating about the past. That's what we do. We go back in the past and we relive things, and the emotion, the anger, the resentment, the jealousy, the whatever, the disgust, that all of those things, the sadness and happiness, it's not all bad, but all those things that come up, those emotions kind of come back into you. You feel them again. Or we project ourselves into the future and we worry about things that will probably never happen. So that's kind of like where we spend most of our time. And you just want to be very aware that that's what you're doing. Because once you become aware that you're thinking about that again, and it's completely pointless, it's done, it's finished, that is where you begin to live now and you become very mindful. So your decisions and your behaviors, you start to notice. That was one of the things that I really noticed when I started to meditate. And although it did calm me down, it made me very aware of how impatient I was and quite intolerant and just not that nice a person to be around, really. And I had 3 kids who were with me a lot of the time, especially in the car journey to school, where I'd be yelling at bad drivers. And I just kind of thought, God, I don't want to be this role model for my children. So that's and I know not everybody has children, but I think that that's a really good reason to just want to be a better person. I mean, in terms of kind of like emotional eating and things like that, I think it's just being very aware of exactly what you're doing. I think people don't realize that they're reaching for food or over exercising or being really lazy and lethargic, that there's a reason for it. And when you meditate, it kind of comes to you, you understand yourself. And I think you just get to like yourself better the more you understand yourself. When you understand why you do things, you kind of let yourself off the hook. Think, oh yeah, that's why I do that, because, you know, something not nice happened. So this is how I react. So
What I love about what you just said is that I perceive meditation as both mindset and soul work. And I found in my personal journey, when I began meditating, a lot of those negative self-talk thoughts would come up. And I realized just what you said, like that's why I was binge eating. That's why I was lying to my coach and having a full-blown cheat meal, was because as I meditated, I heard that voice in my head, who the hell do you think you are to get on stage and try to be a bodybuilder? Who the hell do you think you are to act as if you are in control of your life when you're screaming at your kids for 12 hours a day? And those thoughts came to me and just brought awareness to a lot of that. And I think a lot of you know, I eat entirely intuitively now. I don't track anything. I'm not on any sort of diet or anything like that. And there's no such thing as binge eating in my life anymore.
Yeah.
I have a question that sort of relates to Nora's question. I find that meditation also personally helped me in my mental health journey. I was on antidepressants for quite a long time, and now I meditate with my daughter every night before bed. We use the Insight app, Insight Timer. If anyone is looking for a meditation app, that's a really good one. My daughter has very, very high anxiety. A lot of it is related to trauma, and a lot of it is related to the fact that she has some learning disabilities. So her anxiety comes from feeling like she's not living up to the traditional school expectations because she doesn't learn the way that most people learn. And I find that meditating with her at night is helping her with her mental health issues as well. So I was wondering if you could speak a little bit. I find that most of my clients will talk about how they have mental health issues. And I only put it in quotes, not to downplay it, but because I truly believe that all of us have mental health issues to some degree or another. I just posted yesterday, we're all traumatized children walking around in adults' bodies. So I was wondering if you could speak a little bit to the connection between meditation and mental health.
Yeah. So yes, interestingly, actually, there was because I'm accredited with the British School of Meditation, and in my exam we had to do a talk on a subject that meditation helped. One of the main places that it kind of had benefit, and my topic was depression, because that was just something that I was very interested in. And when I was doing all my research, it was a Harvard research center, had found that people who regularly meditated, they put people on a mindfulness-based stress reduction course for 6 weeks, where they meditated for 20 minutes every day for 6 weeks. And they found that those people that meditated had exactly the same results on their depression as people who were on antidepressants. It was like absolutely identical results. Obviously, I haven't probably explained that very well, but I just you mentioning it, I just thought, yeah, I remember that there's a whole program just based meditation to help with depression. And I'm not saying that people shouldn't go and see their GP and obviously have medication if they need it, but I think that there's just a lot of like joylessness in the world in general.
Hang on, let me just make that really clear, Debs, what you've just said. So you're saying in that study that the use of antidepressant drugs, that people that took those, their brains were, or the depression was fixed to the same level as people that meditated. So you could theoretically, according to this experiment, instead of taking those drugs, you could meditate instead and get the same benefits. Yes. Without the side effects.
Well, I can anecdotally agree to that, because I weaned myself off of antidepressants 10 years ago, right at the exact time that I began meditating. And yes, I still have a few times a year where I'll go through like a blue period, but I'm not having the negative side effects from the medication. And those side effects from the medications that I tried were pretty extreme. They were really affecting my quality of life. And I believe that there is a time and place for medication, and I don't want anyone to feel like I'm shaming them for going on antidepressants. But I will tell you from my personal experience that I am much happier not on antidepressants and managing my mental health through mindfulness, meditation, self-care, and all sorts of other things that you guys know that I do, shamanic journeying and things like that.
That's incredibly powerful. So guys, basically what we're saying, I mean, I'm taking this on board for myself because I don't meditate. But as I was doing my meditation there with Debs, I was thinking, because in 2020, I did the Deepak 21-day meditation challenge. And I did it with a bunch of people because you can all do it as a group together. And it was powerful. So you have to do the full 21 days. And I did all of the journaling little things that they give you to do as well. And it was an abundance meditation, that one. And I actually got a check for hundreds of pounds came completely unexpected during that. So it was huge. And someone that was doing it with me got a big check from her charity business that she worked with as well into the charity. So when I was listening to Debs, I was thinking, if my clients are watching, I want us to do the 21-day, because we already have Debbie. So we're already blessed with Debbie once a month. But I want us to do the 21-day Deepak challenge again, I think, together, because I think it's time to bring it back in, definitely. And you've just shown me that, I'm busy, but I've got time to meditate, and it's worth it. It's worth it, because even if you feel great, you could feel even better, couldn't you, by doing that?
Yeah, definitely.
What do you reckon, Nora?
I think, it's, for me, it goes back to that whole Tony Robbins thing that we talk about all the time, right? Like your thoughts are really just a sentence that your brain creates. And I think the more that you meditate, the more your understanding of that. Like, I think sometimes, a bad habit is just a bunch of thoughts that you've just not realized that you can change. Because like Deb said, 80% of the thoughts you have are what you do. There's also scientific research that says the same 80%, your body, your brain is essentially a survival mechanism. So it's trained to keep you existing exactly how you were existing yesterday. And you don't even realize that, right? Like you don't even realize to change a habit requires more calories, and your brain is like, no, 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 we're not going to do that because I really don't want to spend those calories. Like that's a proven fact. So I think meditation is so exciting because it opens up that whole ability for people who say to us, like, human beings lie, right? They say they don't have the time, they don't have the money, they don't have the strength, they don't have the patience, they don't have the blah, blah, blah. Like we tell ourselves we lack the resources, but in reality, we just lack the ability to be resourceful. And I think the main thing in that is really meditating and becoming aware.
I love that so much. And you guys, if you love Tony Robbins, I have his new book, Life Force. It's amazing. Really, really worth a read. That's complete byproduct. I just had to say that.
Yeah.
And to tie it back to mental health, Deb, what I really love, and I'm just very curious about your thoughts on this, is you mentioned about depression and anxiety in the past and the future. And there's a quote about when we are living in the past, when we're thinking about the past, that's where depression comes from. And when we're thinking about the future, that's where anxiety comes from. And what I love so much about meditation is that it truly brings you to the now. And I personally meditate in the morning 5 to 10 minutes. That's sometimes I like rush it and I'm like, oh, okay, it's been 3 minutes, I'm done now. But at night, I've been super consistent with my daughter, and she's 12. She's not going to want me to put her to bed for very much longer. So I'm really just embracing this time that we have together, and they're guided meditations, like it's easy for me to do a guided meditation with her because she's 12. She doesn't know how to meditate her on her own, and I don't know if I'm the best teacher for that. So I love how it brings you to now, to the present, because all that we have is the now. And we can get ourselves worked up so much when we're thinking about the past or the future. So I don't think I really had a question surrounding that, but just curious if you had any more to add to that.
Yeah. No, well, that's exactly it. And that's amazing that you're teaching your daughter, because then that's going to be a habit that's ingrained in her. And even if she doesn't do it, she'll remember it, and she will come back to that and use it. And I think that is a really big thing with meditation. A lot of people, they'll do a 6-week course and they'll learn, and then they won't use it. But they'll have some challenges or situations in their life, and then they'll think, oh, I'm going to meditate, because it does work when you do it and it makes you feel better. And I think that the biggest thing for me about the whole not living too much in the past, we have to learn from the past. We have to learn our lessons. We have to make plans for the future. It's not that there's anything wrong with being in the past or being in the future, but it's just noticing when the thoughts that you're having about the past and the future are pointless. That's what it's about. And then I think in terms of kind of addressing maybe mental health issues, and these, I'm only talking about minor mental health issues where you have just feeling a bit low, a bit down. And I think that a lot of people are just too quick to go and get quick fixes when they maybe could help themselves actually very easily. Is the secret really of meditation is when you are in the right now, and if you're quiet, the answer to everything is inside you. But because we're never quiet and we don't listen to ourselves, and we don't, if you're quiet and you listen, your intuition and your inner wisdom and all the life lessons that you've learned in your whole lifetime, they're all in there, and the answers will come, and you'll know what you need. And that might be to go and get professional help, or it might be to talk to a friend, or it might be to change what you're eating, or it might be to get more sleep, or whatever it is. But we do actually all have the answers inside of us. And I think really, ultimately, that's what regular meditation just teaches you, to trust yourself more.
And that is so fitting, Debbie, because that's what coaching is. Coaching is to bring out what people already are, and to show them what they're already capable of. And a lot of people,
which is so beautiful. It's
It's
so
exactly
beautiful. Though.
correct.
People
You
don't
can
believe
never,
it. They
yeah,
don't
you
believe
can never force anybody to come to any understanding or to make any decision or anything. It's, if anything, meditation and teaching and coaching is just about a tool to empower others to realize the power in their own hands, which all it is that people don't believe that they have, and or they've lost the ability to believe in themselves because they failed before, they've been burned. So it's really fitting that we should, you know, meditation is completely interchangeable with body transformation, mindset transformation, all of the stuff that we're doing. You know, this is, here you go, guys, an additional tool for you watching. I've been looking down at my phone every so often just to see if there was any questions. Have your clients, Jenny, written anything? Because
I haven't seen any questions, but I've seen a ton of people watching. So if you're
Yeah.
watching live, we've still got a few more minutes left. Feel free to drop your questions down below. Give us a hashtag live to let us know you're here. Say hi so we can say hi back. Or if you're watching the replay later, give us a little hashtag replay. Share this if you think that this would be helpful for anyone in your circle. And I'll tell you, when I first started meditating 10 years ago was when I really began to get serious about my body transformation. And I was very resistant to meditation at first. I thought, just like so many other people do, that I had to clear my mind. And at the time, my kids were 2.5 and 6. There was no way in hell I could clear my mind. My husband had just started working away from home. So I was home alone with the kids for 21 days straight, working full time, juggling like a mother. And literally. And I used something that you said earlier, Deb. I used a mantra. So when I was trying to clear my mind, I would always wait until the kids were asleep and I'd be tidying up the kitchen. So I wasn't actually even sitting in stillness, but I was still in that meditative state. I know I was, because I was going through the motions and I wasn't really paying attention to what I was doing. And in my mind, I think I've said this before, but a lot of my motivation in the beginning came from this. I watched G.I. Jane when I was a teenager, and I was like, I'm going to be fit like Demi Moore and G.I. Jane. I know it. I can see it. I can see it. So my mantra was, I am building muscle and burning fat at the same time. I am building muscle and burning fat at the same time. And I would repeat it over and over again, just while I was tidying up the kitchen. And I also started doing that when I was lifting weights, when I was brand new to lifting weights and hiding in the women's section and afraid to lift in front of the men. I would say that same mantra over and over again. Or what I recently shared with a client who was like, oh, you know, I'm so uncomfortable. I don't like lifting because it's so uncomfortable to me. And I was like, just say to yourself, this is light as a feather. This is light as a feather. This is light as a feather. So I know you spoke to this a little bit, but I just want to remind everyone that meditation isn't just laying in stillness. It's not just focusing on your breath. I meditate when I walk in the forest. I meditate every single time I walk in the forest. Am I thinking to myself, I'm meditating right now? No, but I'm walking through the forest. I'm being present. I am in the now. So I know that I'm meditating.
Mm-hmm. It's so important. And I think, you know, it goes back to what Holly says too about coaching. It's like the age old thing. I read this book. It was, now I can't remember the author, it'll come to me. But they talk about how in the diet and fitness industry, women have been taught for so long to run away from themselves, to be distracted. We're chasing the next quick fix, or we're chasing that muscle, or we're chasing that body. And we say to ourselves, I'll start living, like I'll start enjoying vacation when I have a bikini body. I'll start, you know, having fun with my friends when I'm 10 pounds lighter. I'll start. So we've been running away from ourselves. I mean, I was doing it from 20. Jenny was doing it basically from 20, you know, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, you know, and then you stop, because I was chasing around trainers that, you know, told me what to do. They had no idea who I was. I didn't know who I was. That was the main problem. So I think it's really important, guys, especially like when you're looking for coaches or when you're looking for that next step in your wellness journey, is really to start being mindful, practicing awareness, and knowing who you are. That way, when you do select a coach or you do select a program, it's reflective of who you are. It's not trying to fit you into a mold of what you're not, because who you are, like Deb said, is beautiful. And you just want to uncover all those layers.
Yeah. Would you like me to just guide you through another, just because Jenny's brought up mantra and you're saying about we're all individual and we're all different. It's a really short one. Again, as short as the last one, even shorter. But it's to help you find your own mantra, to find your words, the words that are for you. So if would you
Yeah,
I
like
love
me
let's
that.
do
to,
that.
Yeah.
That's fun. Yeah, let's finish off with that.
it's
I think that's
really
perfect.
simple.
And I'll just say to our audience now, because we've got a good few people watching, we're going to do this. And then, so if you've got any questions, now's your time, because when we finished, we'll check one last time. And if there's no questions, then okay, we'll come back to comments later. But if you want to have it answered now live with Debs, now's your time to ask. Be brave. Over to you, Debbie.
Okay then, so let's just get comfortable again then. Get yourselves comfortable and close your eyes if you're comfortable to close your eyes. And again, I think it's nice to take your right hand over your heart and then your left hand over your right hand. But you don't need to do this. You can keep your hands in your lap. But like I said before, this starts to release all your feel-good hormones. You just tune into your heart. And remember your heart, that's where the witness you resides, the real you. And then just take a nice deep breath in and out. And again, take a nice big deep breath in and then exhale through your mouth. And now just allow yourself to experience what I'm going to talk you through, just with an open mind. It's just something different for you to try out. Now, just in this quiet and stillness, I want you to imagine yourself living your perfect life, the life that you've dreamed of. Any of the obstacles or challenges that you think you have, they've all gone, they don't exist. You have the money that you need, you have the relationship you want, you're living in the house you want, you're successful at the career you want. Everything is exactly as you dream it. All of these things are possible, and you really are living the life of your dreams. And then just notice what that looks like for you in your mind. And don't overthink it. Just don't start making decisions and is that right or wrong? Just trust your first thoughts. And there may be a variety of different images that come up, and that's great. Just see if you can land on one and really see your perfect future. This future you living your best life. And then just start to notice what you see. Are you maybe indoors or outdoors? Who's there with you? What's around you? Are you in nature? And then most importantly, how are you feeling right now? What does this future you feel like? And just take a moment and let this vision, just let it expand and notice anything else that you can see. And then now I'm going to just pose a question, and I just want you to just take what comes up first. And the question is, what energy do you need in your life now to become this person that you can see in your vision? What energy do you need to cultivate in your life now to become this person that you see in the vision? And just trust what comes up. And whatever arises, focus on it. Whatever arises is what you need today. So just try to land on a word or a few words. And then just take a nice deep breath in and release. And just slowly open your eyes. And whatever words came up for you, you can make those into your mantra. And then you just repeat your mantra when you wake up in the morning. If you're having a stressful moment and you notice, you could just repeat your words. You can make them into something beautiful and meaningful for you. But right now, just trust that those words that came up are the words you need to keep reminding yourself at the moment. And I did this earlier when I was like going through what I was going to do with you. And for me, the word, my energy that came up was calm commitment. It's just kind of like just resonated with me, but it can be anything. Do you want to share what words came up?
Yeah,
Does
I
anybody want to
will.
share?
I had love and self-esteem.
Okay.
Those were
So if you
mine.
could like make a little phrase out of those words, or just repeat self-esteem, love. But
Yeah.
that's
And
Yeah.
I had trusting. I trust myself and I trust the universe.
yeah, that's beautiful.
Oh boy. I had be responsible and be accountable, which kind of stressed me out, I have to say. So I just have to practice my mantra a little bit more, I think.
That will it'll come to you what that really does mean, and
Right.
how to make that into something positive. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I'd love to hear if anyone's watching, if they participated and they have a mantra, whether you're watching
Yeah.
live or the replay. I'd love to hear what came up for you.
Mhm.
Well, all I can say is, Debbie, thank you for agreeing to come on here and
Thanks
share
so much.
all of this valuable stuff, like not just for our listeners, but for us three. I think this has been just incredible.
Amazing. Amazing.
And
Deb, you're amazing.
if anybody wants to follow Debbie, because she will be doing some online stuff, so it doesn't matter if you're in another country. What's your Facebook page called, Debs?
So it's Meditation with Debbie Jones.
Meditation.
Yeah, there you go.
And we'll put the link under this as well. We'll put the
Yeah.
link underneath this video, guys.
Yeah, and there's quite a few free meditations on that, because we just touched the tip of the iceberg today. It's such a huge subject, and if anybody's interested to learn meditation, I really happily can confidently say they'll find a style of meditation for them. They will.
Absolutely love
Awesome.
it so much. Well, Debbie, thank you. You've been amazing, and it's been lovely just to be back with the three chicks.
Yes.
And all that we've had. And also I should just add, Nora's just come back from the most gorgeous holiday in Jamaica, and she looks amazing. Look how brown and beaming she is, and cheerful.
Yes, it was so awesome. And
And
I am not
you've got
one.
a little bracelet with Jamaican.
Yeah, I have my little Jamaican. But I just had the best time. And shout out to my guys if they're watching, to Phil and Kamani. They were my trainers while I was down there. But it was, you kind of get out of the habit of believing that you're worthy, or believing that vacation can happen, especially when you're like Jenny, Holly, Debbie, and I. We're all entrepreneurs. We're all running our businesses, which are kind of hectic all the time. But man, when you take time off, it really, like I said to the girls, I'm like, it totally centered me, got my goals back, just really kind of touched me in my soul. And I thought, like I said to Holly before we came on, we were just chit chatting. I was like, I always think I'm content. Like, I love where I live. I love getting out into the forest bathing. I love all that stuff. But wow, there's a whole nother world out there, people.
And it's so important to take that time. That masculine energy of do, go, go all the time has to be balanced with the feminine energy of being. And you're inspiring me. I'm so excited to go on a trip at the end of March.
I know, I'm so excited for you.
Shut my phone off for a whole week.
Where are you going, Jenny?
We're going to
Amazing,
Mexico.
Jen.
Sorry?
We're going to Mexico.
Oh my God. That's going to be incredible, isn't it?
And
Wow.
it'll be the first time that I've stuck to my guns. I am planning and preparing now to have my content and emails and client delivery and everything set up ahead of time so I can really and truly take a step back and just be with my family.
Wow, I love that. Well, the message of tonight is very clear. Take the time. Take the time. And I think if you do that, you will really reap the benefits. So thank you once again to Debbie. Thank you to awesome Nora. Thank you to awesome Jenny. Thank you all for watching. And we'll be checking out any comments later and responding.
Absolutely.
guys.
Thank you again, Debbie.
Thanks,
Thank you
Deb.
so much for having me.
Stop recording.